The first mass contact with friendly extraterrestrial aliens was made in Italy. This is a true story as told by hundreds of Italians as they claim to have come into mass third party contact and had personal face to face encounters with aliens who called themselves quote unquote friends. In Italy, it's known as Case W56, but it's better known as Il Caso Amicizia, while in English it's translated as the friendship case. Although there are some doubts, as we'll see below, so much evidence shows that the friendship case, as it has been called, seems to indicate that the first mass contact of humans with friendly aliens took place in Italy, and it is a fact. It was in 1956, and were found there. The Cold War had broken out between the United States and the Soviet Union, threatening to explode into nuclear exchanges and a radioactive holocaust that threatened a deadly and invisible poison on the planet's surface. Every nation in the world feared that what the superpowers would do. The Italian writer Bruno Samaciccia had in his possession an old map of the castle of Rocopia in central Italy. In April, he started exploring the place with two friends, Giancarlo and Giulio. They were at the foundation at some point. There, they were approached by two guys. Giulio became concerned, pointing out that they were security guards because they were both wearing the same uniform. But Bruno says, I don't think so. One was very short, while the other was very tall, like a basketball player. The facial features of both of them had a classical beauty. They looked almost like angelic creatures, while emitting an aura of love that they felt as heat. The two guys said that the earth was created for good, but man was too close to destroying it. They were representatives of other races of the universe, part of a group known as W56. But please, they said, just call us friends. We are charged with protecting the planet from nuclear war. This was the beginning of a mass contact that would gradually take place, both with ordinary people and with respectable, reliable people. The friends, these extraterrestrials, explained that they had been on Earth for hundreds of years, living in secret underground bases around the world. Theirs was under Rocapia, in a very deep chamber that was about 200 miles long. That's 320 kilometers long. The dome was so high that the space had its own weather system, including underground rain. We suggest you read it. Telos Princess reveals underground civilization beneath California's Mount Shasta. This chamber had not been excavated. Instead, it had been expanded underground like a balloon, compressing the layers around it into impenetrable walls. These friends were willing to trust Bruno Samaciccia and the people he trusted, so the author and his company swore silence and loyalty to these friends. However, after Bruno's death, some of these friends started making contacts with other people. At first, historical alien encounters were limited to one or two people at a time, but slowly the Italian witnesses soon numbered in the hundreds, making friends the first and perhaps the only case of mass alien contact. These friends were happy to provide proof of their existence to their loyal human followers. Visits to their flying saucers were arranged by appointment. In fact, there was also a photographer where after an appointment on a specific date and time, he was free to take pictures. Many of those photos of their flying vehicles were published in the Italian press. Soon after the first mass contact, the friends sought help from their human friends. Large quantities of fruit were requested, whole cargoes of grapes, oranges, and apples. When the supplies arrived, the trucks were unloaded by teleport within seconds and delivered back empty and very clean. Friends could teleport anything, even people. The teleportation, according to witnesses, was always accompanied by a bright, blinding light. During the meetings with the humans, these friends revealed that they had an enemy who also had secret bases within the earth. They were called contraries, or the opposites, or perhaps the contradictory, and they had to be held in check. Contraries were materialists and lovers of science, they said. The friends worried that humanity might follow their enemy, which, if it happened, would lead to their destruction. In a mass contact, they explained, among other things, that they themselves were a group concerned with preventing a nuclear war. Even a very limited nuclear war is capable of causing a global catastrophe, they said. And as the result would be probably a global famine that could kill up to 1 billion people worldwide. On the other hand, a very large war could cause a truly catastrophic disruption of the entire world climate. There would not be a single day without frost, which means that agriculture will cease to exist. So great hunger would run through people everywhere. The vast majority of the human population would die as a result of this war. When the leaders of mankind hold their consultations and their discussions about nuclear war, they act and function as if we have a war that everyone can survive. They refer, however, to themselves and some of their subordinates. They do not refer to the whole of humanity. The martyrs' elite. We should mention and acknowledge that the whole history of mass contact between aliens and humans has created many controversies and many significant problems and pressures. The friendship affair was born in 1956 and officially ended in 1978. Too many people confirm the truth of the allegations, especially when it involves well-known Italians and the rich, from the consul Perego to the painter Gaspare de Lama and the architect Giancarlo De Carlo to the head of the Carabinieri and the CEO of the Central Italian Telephone Company, but also famous lawyers, distinguished engineers, even notable journalists supported the truth of this story. Despite these accounts, there is considerable skepticism about the event, both from skeptics and those wary of such stories, especially when one of them involves mass contact. This, of course, is to be expected, but the surprise comes from a small portion of UFO groups. It's therefore argued that there is a lot of misleading evidence, and above all, the photographs that have been presented as real in the press and magazines of that time, which are reproduced to this day. They claim, therefore, that they are fakes and the product of photomontage, while they claim that in their interviews some witnesses have fallen into contradictions, but also into gaps that cannot be justified. As a small example, we'll mention that for Angelo Maggiotti, founding member and president of ARIA, Associazione Richiera Italiana Aliena, the friendship case has been perpetuated in Italy for many decades and has become a symbol for Italian ufology. But at the same time, it has turned into a powerful embarrassment to the UFO community, given the persistence of many to keep the case alive by constantly exposing lies and inaccuracies. All this leads to two conflicting conclusions. One is that the affair of friendship was invented by an Italian elite in order to probably create interest in the world and the leaders in order to avert a possible nuclear war. The second is that the story is true and that there were groups that operated like in the Blue Book program, Project Blue Book of the United States, that is, with the aim of misleading the world about the existence of extraterrestrials and their suspiciously friendly attitude. You can also find large numbers of articles and photos on the internet. Also, there are interesting documentaries for which you can learn more, but unfortunately they are not available for free. Now, I've translated this article for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.